After a lifetime of researching the dynamic and enigmatic world of light entertainment, I've decided to ditch my notebook and meet the people who inspire me. What makes them the people they are? How do they feel about the show business landscape in which they find themselves? And in a world where anyone can be a star, is there still a need for performers who have universal appeal? Come with me on a journey of discovery as I get a unique insight into Britain's favourite stars with a little help from my glamorous assistants. Yeah, well, I say glamorous, more like hazardous. And of course, we'll have a bit of fun along the way.
Italian-born Frankie Dettori followed in his father Gianfranco Dettori's footsteps to become the most decorated jockey of his generation, becoming the first teenager since Lester Piggott to ride 100 winners in just one season. That was the start of an illustrious career in horse racing, which eventually resulted in him taking the prestigious title as the most coveted jockey of all time. After retirement, Frankie has become a familiar face on British television, appearing on the long-running panel show A Question of Sport from 2002 to 2004, and came 7th in Celebrity Big Brother 2011. I was interested to get his insight into an unparalleled career in sport and learn his hopes for the future. Ladies and gentlemen, Frankie Dettori. In 1990, you became the first teenager since Lester Piggott to ride 100 winners in one season. Despite the massive achievement, what sort of pressure were you under in attempting to maintain and replicate the same level of success in future seasons?
Well, at the time when I did, I was young. I didn't know I did it until it actually did happen, and somebody picked it up and pointed it out, and I was the youngest one since Leicester. So I don't put myself in that much pressure. You always try to do your best, and you count the winners at the end of the season. I mean, I don't really set out to say, oh, I must win 100 or I must win 200. I mean, you just try to do your best. So, every race is pressure, but so in some level of degree, no different to any footballer going on the pitch and try to score or try to win a game. I'm in exactly the same.
How was it following in your dad's footsteps as a decorated jockey himself?
Well, to start, I would say it was my inspiration because, it was the one I looked up to because I lived in the outskirts of Milan, and where most of my school friends, parents, they either worked in a factory or did simple jobs and lived in a flat. My dad was pretty privileged because he was already champion jockey. He had the villa and he had the Mercedes in the drive. So, I wanted to be like him. I wanted to follow his footsteps because, it was a good example to me. But then obviously there's a lot of pressure because, got a name in your shoulders and you get judged from a very early age. What it could be a help, it can be also bad, but in my case, it was a help.
Your son Rocco has shown great promise as a jockey. Do you think history might be repeating itself?
Up to 6 months ago, he wasn't interested the slightest. But now he's doing a few Shetland Grand National pony races, and he's won a couple, and loves it, and he's actually quite small, and he can ride, but he's only 12, so I can't really tell, but all the signs are there, and it'd be awesome that a third generation of my family can do that, but it's early days. I think the worst thing you can do is push someone to do it, so it's got to come from inside him.
To what extent do you rely on the trainer for a potential victory?
I think a lot. And the good trainer can also not just train the horse, but they can explain the way the horse is. Because, to get an animal fit, there is quite some basic rules, exactly like training an athlete. But to get inside the minds of a racehorse, that's the most important thing, because obviously they can't communicate. So you have to go inside their brain to try to get the best out of them. And if you got a trainer that he's got the ability to explain it to you, it makes my life a lot easier. And that's why me and John get on so well, because he absolutely explains to me how the horse is, and then I put it into practice.
In 2002, you became a team captain on the long-running BBC quiz, A Question of Sport. How did you find making the move from competitive sport to light entertainment?
It was lots of fun. I did 2 years of it. I would say about maybe 40 shows. It was good fun. It was very entertaining, and it was something different, something that I enjoyed. I mean, I was absolutely useless on it, but that didn't matter. Just the fact that I was doing it, being there, and it was a great experience.
In 2011, you came 7th on Celebrity Big Brother. Firstly, why did you do it? And secondly, the public get to see the best of the day's action in a 45-minute episode. But give us a sense of the boredom you had to deal with on a daily basis.
Well, basically, I got offered a lot of money to do it, so I was off at the time, so I thought I might as well do it. And then I actually I watched it before, but I never actually understood what was the whole game about. So I went in there quite blind and naive about what was the whole purpose of the game. Anyway, I didn't realize the purpose of the game was argue with everyone, but I wasn't there to argue. I was just, I'm not that kind of person. So what I did basically to keep myself entertained, I made breakfast for everyone. I did the washing up. Most of the times I chopped carrots and onions to prepare things for the dinner, cook dinner, and do the washing up. And then we did a stupid game for about an hour, and that was it. So it was, obviously you got no watch, no phones, no newspapers. So the light was my guide, and because at the time I was doing the school run, so I could tell what time was what, because when I used to drop the kids at school was around 7:30, was just beginning to get light, so I knew then was 7:30. And then when I went to, this was January, so I went to pick him up, it was quite dark by 4 o'clock, so I knew then it was time to get the dinner ready. But that's the only way I worked out the times. But I'll be honest with you, the first week was great because you get to talk to everyone, you hear everybody's life story, but then after a week we all ran out of things to say, so it was I'm glad that I've done it, and I made some good friends, but absolutely pointless.
So looking back at your career, what's your proudest achievement?
Obviously, for winning 7 races at Ascot. First one to done it. It was a big day, and and that's really what, from being a normal jockey, made me an household name and made me really famous and gave me opportunity to do Big Brother and all sorts of things. So I'll definitely be my proudest moment.
And finally, what's next for Frankie Dettori?
Next, I'm doing this theatre today. I'm doing it all week actually around the country, just catching up on things. I'm waiting for the kids to break up from school at Christmas. I'm going to go 3 weeks in Brazil for a holiday. And then before you know, I'm going to start getting fit again and start again. I mean, I've got so much to look forward to next year with an enabling cracksman and staying in training. So, but I'm trying to just enjoy this moment because, after a long season to now, I only came back from Melbourne on Friday, so I'm still pretty jet lagged, but it's nice to be able to eat and drink and just not worry about any racing. So I'm going to chill out for a bit and start again next year.
Thank you very much to our guest for being the subject of another Beyond the Title interview. If you like this, why not browse the website and see if there's anything else that takes your fancy. Don't forget to like our Facebook page to receive updates on forthcoming interviews and to see more information about me and what I do. Thanks again, and hopefully see you next time for another Beyond the Title interview.